What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports, and you're watching our SEC football channel. Here we go with LSU. They open up the season, and we're going to go ahead and give them a win against Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern's not on the game. That won't be an easy win. Georgia Southern's a pretty good football team, but again, we're going to assume that they win that game. So we move on to week 2 against Texas. We showed you this game live back a few weeks ago, so you may have already seen the results from this one, but we're going to show them anyways. You see, LSU's defense really came to play in the first half, and they did a phenomenal job. Joe Burrow had a big day on the ground. He will run this one in for the touchdown, and LSU up 21-7. Into the second half now, LSU still in control of this game. Joe Burrow again on the ground, runs it in, and he takes it in for the touchdown. Texas would add a field goal. Here comes Sam Ehlinger, his turn to show what he can do on the ground, and he winds up getting around the defense, and they don't catch him. It's a touchdown. So Texas trying to climb back in this game. 28-17 now the score. LSU with the football. Joe Burrow again on the ground. He's going to take off and run, but this time he fumbles the football. Texas picks it up, and this could be a huge swing in this game. They wind up having to settle for a field goal, but it's still a one-possession game, 28-20, so they're right back in this game. LSU trying to take back control. 3rd down and 1, big opportunity for Texas to get a stop, and they can't do it. LSU comes up with the first down. And then on 3rd down and 2, it's Joe Burrow, a little play-action pass to the tight end, and LSU takes a 15-point lead in this game. Under 2 minutes to play, Texas really running out of time. Ehlinger going to just try to take a deep shot. And that ball is going to get intercepted. LSU's defense coming up with the turnover, and that would really seal this game up. LSU wins it 35-20, and they will start the season off 2-0. Next game will be against Northwestern State. We're going to assume that they win that game. Again, an FCS opponent. Shouldn't have any problems with the Northwestern State. So after that, they will then move on to face Vanderbilt. So Vanderbilt's going to be the first game in the SEC. This game's on the road. Could be a little bit tricky. You wonder if they might overlook Vanderbilt a little bit. We'll see what happens. Early on, it's Keyshawn Vaughn running it in for the touchdown. And Vanderbilt with the lead, 7-0. Late in the first half now, Joe Burrow, a little play action. Looking to the right, finds a man inside the 20. And he's going to be taken down about the 18-yard line. But they punch it in here on 2nd down and goal to tie the game up at 7. We're tied at 10 now, late in the 3rd quarter. Close, low-scoring game. Joe Burrow doing it with his legs again. He finds a way to run it in for the touchdown, and LSU up 17-10. Now 3rd down and 4. Vanderbilt trying to answer back. Big 3rd down here. Looking to throw. That's going to get knocked away, and it's the LSU defense coming up with a huge stop. Then the offense takes it down the field. They run it in for the touchdown and take a 2-touchdown lead. That was a big turning point in this game. Vanderbilt still trying to come back. 3rd down and 7. They try to run it, and that does not work. LSU's defense ready for that. Then they get the ball again and just take a bunch of time off the clock, take it all the way down the field, punch it in with the fullback, and they win it 31-10. So a big win there to open up SEC play. They play Utah State after that. Another game that won't be easy, but we're going to assume that they win that game because I don't have the roster for Utah State. Again, that will not be an easy game. It'll be a fairly close game. Utah State's a good team with a really good quarterback. But for this video, we'll assume that LSU will win that game. And then it's Florida up next. LSU gets them at home this year. Florida taking the early 7-0 lead. Now Felipe Franks finds his man. It's a 14-0 lead for the Gators. 14-3 after LSU added a field goal. This is actually the last play of the first half. They find a way to score on basically a Hail Mary play, and this was a big turning point in this game. They come out with momentum in the second half. Joe Burrow completes this pass. It's a touchdown, and now they're on top, 17-14. But this would be a close game that would come down to the wire. Felipe Franks on 3rd down and 9. He throws the interception, and LSU comes up with a huge turnover. They're going to take it all the way down inside the 10-yard line. And now on 1st and goal, a little option play for the touchdown. Clyde Edwards-Helaire runs it in, and LSU now up by a couple of scores. But Florida, again, not going away. Felipe Franks here on 1st and goal, runs over defender, takes it into the end zone, and the Gators back within 6, 27-21. 3rd down and 5 now for LSU. They really need a first down here. They go to the screen pass. It's not going to work. Florida's defense ready for it, so they're going to get the football back. Now on 4th down and 8, huge play in this game. Franks completes the pass. Look at that throw. Look at that catch by Kadarius Toney. Now Florida with a chance to take the lead. First and goal, they run it in for the touchdown, and the extra point would give them the lead, 28-27. LSU still with plenty of time, though. They complete that pass inside the 35-yard line. Like to get a little bit closer for a shot at the field goal. They go to the screen pass. It works, and they're going to take this thing all the way down inside the 5-yard line. Set up the game-winning field goal that would be good, and LSU beats Florida 30-28. A close game, a nail-biter that comes down to a field goal for the win. Tigers get the win 30-28. So LSU undefeated at this point, and you're already looking at wins over Texas, a win over Florida, also that win over Vanderbilt. So this team would very likely be in the top 5 at this point, depending on how many undefeated teams were left. Again, the rankings are not going to change here. So we go now to the next game against Mississippi State. Joe Burrow again doing it with his legs, runs that one in for the touchdown. LSU in control early, 13-3. Mississippi State now on 3rd down and 5. That's going to be intercepted, and it's the LSU defense again coming up with plays, with turnovers. We've seen that time and time again here on these simulations. Joe Burrow now on 2nd and goal. We've seen this a lot too. He drops back to pass, no one's open. He just runs it in for the touchdown. 20-3 now. Mississippi State in the 4th quarter trying to come back. Keaton Thompson with a beautiful pass there for the touchdown, and Mississippi State climbs within 10. 3rd down and 12. Now it's the Mississippi State defense getting a quick 3 and out. They're going to get the football back, and they got a chance to make this thing interesting. 4th down and 1. Clock is ticking, though. They just run it here, pick up the 1st down. Kylan Hill around the 30-yard line, and then they take it down inside the 5. Thompson, he's going to run with it this time, and he will run it in for the touchdown. So the Bulldogs climb within 3. They decide to kick it deep. LSU now looking for a 1st down. 3rd down and 7. They pick it up. Mississippi State had already used all 3 timeouts at that point, and so LSU is able to run the clock out. 20-17 the final score. So a close game, a really nice comeback effort there for Mississippi State, but it was not enough. As again, LSU going to hold on 20-17. Another close win here for the Tigers. And speaking of Tigers, their next game would be against the Auburn Tigers. LSU at home for this one. Joe Burrow completing a pass. This is early in the ball game, and that's going to be a touchdown. LSU up 7-zip. Now in the 2nd quarter, 3rd down and 12. Burrow going to take a shot deep, and he finds a man that's behind the defense. It's a touchdown, and LSU up 14-0. Auburn not going away, though, here late in the first half, still 14-0. They hand it off. Cam Martin runs it in for the touchdown, and Auburn back within 7. Trying to get some more points here before the half. Burrow, another deep shot, and they have breaks a tackle. He's all the way down to the 1-yard line. They found some mismatches there in the secondary. They wind up running it in, and LSU up 21-7. Now Auburn with it. They would add a field goal here early in the 2nd half. Joey Gatewood runs it in, and they're right back in the ballgame, 21-17. But LSU, they answer right back, and John Emery, the freshman, runs it in for the touchdown, 28-17. Cam Martin's turn, and they go back and forth here with Auburn going to go for 2, and they do not pick it up. And if you watch our Auburn video, you already know what happens in this game. So now 3rd down and 4, LSU trying to pick up a 1st down. They can't do it, so Auburn's defense rising up, making a stop, but LSU goes for the long field goal, and they knock it in. It's 31-23. Auburn now down by 8, 3rd down and 1. They pick up the 1st down. A minute to play now in this game. Now down to 40 seconds to play. 3rd down and 8. Joey Gatewood finds Seth Williams diving into the end zone, and Auburn a 2-point conversion away from tying this game up. They try to go to the ground again, and they do not pick it up. LSU's defense comes up with a stop, and you have to go back to the last onside kick attempt, or the last 2-point conversion attempt, as they go for an onside kick and don't pick it up. If Auburn had just kicked the extra point, then they could have kicked the extra point there, tied the game. We probably would have went to overtime, but again, they tried to go for 2 earlier. It did not work out, and LSU survives. 31-29, a close game, a really, really good football game. But the next game is going to be against Alabama. Tua Tagovailoa here unloading on 3rd down and 10. Finds a receiver down around the 1-yard line. That is Jerry Jeudy. Now Tua on 1st and goal. Looking, he's going to take off and run, and he'll take it into the end zone for the touchdown. So 10-0 now after a field goal. 3rd down and goal for LSU. Burrow's turn to run it, and he'll run it in. So it's 10-7. And again, LSU's undefeated at this point. They run it in for the touchdown there, and they've got the lead, but Alabama adds a field goal. 16-14 now the score. Alabama punches it in, and that would make it 23-14. 4th down and inches here late in the game, and this was a huge stop for this Alabama defense. 4th and inches, they decide to go with the toss play. It does not work. 26-14 now. LSU throwing it up on 4th down, and they're going to run out of time. Alabama wins this one 26-14. Again, that 4th down stop could very well have been the difference in this game, as Alabama's going to win. LSU loses their first game of the season, but it's a fairly close loss to Alabama. If they can win out, we might see this LSU team still make a run into the college football playoffs. We'll see how all the other teams, how it all plays out with the other teams. But next game is against Ole Miss. LSU, slow start to this game, really for both offenses. This is late in the first half, but they go up 10-0. Now it's the defense's turn to get a stop, but they can't do it. Ole Miss, they do get a turnover. There's a fumble on the play, and again, this is right before halftime. This game was 3-0, and just like that, it's 10-0. LSU in business. They decide to go to the ground here. That's going to be a touchdown run, and just like that, it is 17-0. LSU on top. Into the second half now. Joe Burrow's turn to run it. He breaks the tackle. He runs it into the end zone, and LSU up 24-0. They pull away 38-7. The final score in this game, it really wasn't close. Ole Miss hung around for a while there in that first half, but second half, all LSU. Really, the end of the first half and into the second half was all LSU. So the offense gets going here for the Tigers. They got 2 games left. They can win those games. They'll finish 11-1. The next game is going to be against Arkansas. So let's see what's happened in that game. And you can watch some of these full games over on our SEC channel. We'll be posting them all summer long. 3-0 Arkansas on top. Joe Burrow just kind of sneaks around the edge and runs this thing all the way to the end zone. It's 7-3 LSU. Late in the first quarter, there's a pass, and that's a touchdown. So LSU up a couple of scores, 14-3. 3rd down and 11. Arkansas with the football. There is another fumble. Again, we continue to see these LSU defenders making plays, causing turnovers, which is something I think you might see in real life, because this is going to be a really good defense. They wind up having to settle for a field goal here, but they're up 17-3 at this point. Now, 3rd down and goal after another defensive stop, and LSU's up 24-3. Arkansas really never had a chance in this game. They did get some offense going in the second half, but it was way too little, way too late. LSU wins it 48-34. And again, we've seen this Tiger offense really get going ever since that Alabama game. They put up big numbers against Ole Miss, now big numbers against Arkansas, or perhaps it's just the defenses that they're playing, because those are not going to be 2 of the better defenses, I don't think, in the SEC this year. But the next one will be interesting because it's a game against Texas A&M. 3rd down and 3 early in the game. It's Joe Burrow, a little juke move, and he runs it into the end zone for the touchdown. Again, we see him using his legs a lot on these simulations. People don't realize he averaged 3 yards per carry last season. There's a bad pass from Kellen Mond, and it's going to be off to the races. Touchdown LSU. It's 14-0, just like that. Late in the first half, LSU still up 14-0, and it's Joe Burrow again. He'll run it in, and it's 21-0. LSU cruising here over the Aggies. 3rd down and 11 now. Late in the first half, Kellen Mond looking deep, and that is going to be intercepted. Again, LSU's defense making plays. But they do get the ball right back. They get a quick stop, and this time Mond goes deep and finds a receiver. It's Kendrick Rogers for the touchdown, and 21-7 will be the score. Here comes the Texas A&M defense. Again, this is all before halftime. How quickly things can change. They take it all the way down to about the 2. Chance to pull within 7. This was a huge play, though, in this game. 3rd down and goal. They can't pick it up, and you can circle back to that as LSU kind of saves some of their momentum. A&M goes for the field goal. Instead of 21-14, it's 21-10. A&M would then add another field goal as we're late in the 3rd quarter, 21-13. And LSU comes up with a huge play. That's going to be a touchdown. They're not going to catch him. And so LSU's back up by 13. 28-13, third down and 14 late in the third quarter, and it's the LSU defense coming up with a sack. Huge play there, sacking Kellen Mond, and they kind of pull away in this game. They're just running the clock out late, and John Emery Jr., the freshman, he'll take it all the way to the end zone. They do pull away just a little bit. 38-13, the final score, and you can kind of go back to that defensive stop for LSU. I think that might have been the difference, again, to kind of save them some momentum. And momentum is a real thing on this game. I know it's just a video game, but momentum does factor into this game in a pretty big way. So LSU going to finish the season 11-1. Will it be enough to get to the college football playoffs? We'll go through all the other teams. We'll see how their seasons play out, and we'll see if that's going to be enough to get them there. It will not get them to the SEC championship because we already know Alabama is there. Thank you for watching this video. If you're an SEC football fan, please subscribe to the channel. Leave us your thoughts down in the comments below. And for the latest in SEC football, keep it right here.